Deep in the uncharted reaches of space, silence ruled. Planets turned slowly in their orbits, moons reflected the faint light of distant stars, and asteroid fields drifted lazily through the void. It was a quiet sector, one that had never seen war, or so the alien leaders believed. Suddenly the silence shattered. Without warning, huge flashes of light erupted near the outer edges of the alien fleet. Massive warships, some the size of moons, twisted and tore apart in brilliant explosions. Fire and debris spread across the dark canvas of space, floating for seconds before being swallowed by the void. Alien crews screamed, alarms blared, and sensors went haywire. In the command halls of the alien flagship, the leaders stared in disbelief. Their eyes widened as aftershocks of destruction rippled through their fleet. "What is this power?" one of the counselors gasped, his voice trembling. "No weapon we know can do this." Panic spread quickly. Ships tried to regroup, sending distress signals to the nearby sectors. Every transmission was met with the same horrifying realization. Their enemy was not visible, yet their ships were dying faster than any battle in history. The alien leaders could not understand how their forces, trained and armed for centuries, were being destroyed without a trace. Then, without a single warning, the humans appeared. Ships of unimaginable size and design emerged from a hidden wormhole, shimmering like silver ghosts in the black void. They moved with precision and grace, their massive hulls glowing faintly with blue and gold energy. Engines roared louder than thunder, sending shockwaves that rattled the hulls of nearby alien vessels. The aliens had never heard anything like it, sound carried in the vacuum of space only in legend, and even then, never this. The human fleet was overwhelming in its presence. Sleek cruisers, towering battleships, and small fighter wings moved in perfect formation, as if guided by a single mind. From the flagship, the human admiral's voice echoed across all communication channels. Calm, commanding, and unshakable, it cut through the panic like a blade. "We do not come to beg, we come to claim the stars," the admiral said. There was no threat in the tone, only certainty. It was as if the humans had no fear, no doubt, only purpose. The aliens tried to respond, but their weapons seemed useless. Missiles detonated harmlessly against shimmering shields, lasers bent around human ships, and attempts to flank the fleet were met with impossible maneuvers. One alien captain tried to rally his forces, focus fire, overwhelm them. But it was already too late. Human ships accelerated and decelerated faster than any alien calculations allowed, vanishing and reappearing like phantoms. On the bridge of the human flagship, crew members moved quickly but calmly. Consoles flashed with data, technicians adjusted energy flows, and pilots in smaller craft weaved in and out of combat zones. The humans were not just powerful, they were precise, efficient, and terrifyingly fast. One young pilot glanced at the massive explosion behind them and smiled. "They thought they could stop us," he said quietly. They were wrong. The aliens' confusion grew. How could a single fleet move faster than entire sectors of warships? How could humans repair damage in seconds that would cripple alien vessels for hours? Why did they seem fearless in the face of annihilation? Every plan, every trap, every calculation failed. It was as if humanity did not obey the rules of war, or even the laws of physics. Back on the alien flagship, the counselors argued, their voices rising with panic. "We cannot fight them," one shouted. "Our weapons are useless. Our fleets are gone." Others whispered darkly about old prophecies and unknown forces. But no prophecy could explain the human ships, engines roaring like living storms across the stars. The human admiral's voice came again over the comms. This time, calm but with unmistakable authority, "We come not to destroy without reason. We come to challenge those who believe they can control the universe. Step aside or be removed." There was a pause. Silence, except for the faint hum of human engines and the crackling of alien alarms. And then more flashes of light. More alien ships exploded. Humanity's arrival was not just a battle, it was a statement. They were not here to negotiate. They were not here to hide. They were here to change the galaxy forever. As the last of the alien scouts were destroyed, a strange awe filled the remaining leaders. Fear, yes, but also something else. Curiosity. Humans were unpredictable, unstoppable, and unlike any species they had ever known. In that moment, one thought ran through every alien mind in the command halls. The universe had changed, and humans were at the center of it. After the shocking devastation of the outer alien fleet, the humans did not pause. Their massive ships moved forward like a storm sweeping across the void. Stars streaked past as engines roared, leaving glowing trails in their wake. The aliens who survived the first strike could only watch in disbelief as the human armada approached their heart systems. In the command room of the nearest alien sector, panic had reached its peak. Screens flashed with incoming signals, but none made sense. Every sensor picked up multiple readings at impossible speeds. The fleet tried to form a defensive line, but it was already too late. Human ships weaved through space like living shadows, dodging every attack with near-perfect precision. A young alien captain pressed his claws against the console, voice trembling. "Their speed, it defies all known limits. We can't even aim properly." His eyes widened as a missile he fired turned back on itself, vaporized mid-flight by a shimmering human shield. "No, this cannot be real," he shouted. Meanwhile, the humans advanced with calculated confidence. Their ships were not just fast, they were smart. Smaller fighter wings darted between massive battleships, blocking attacks and protecting the larger vessels. Human technology seemed alive, reacting to threats before the aliens even understood them. On board one of the human cruisers, a pilot maneuvered through a narrow asteroid field, twisting the ship in impossible ways. "Keep up, we've got company," he said calmly to his wingman. "They don't know what hit them." From the flagship, the human admiral watched the battlefield unfold with keen eyes. Every move of the alien fleet had been predicted and countered. The admiral's voice rang out over all communication channels, steady and unwavering. "Remember, precision first. Speed second. Humanity does not waste resources on the reckless." Alien scouts tried to escape, transmitting frantic messages about human ships tearing through the outer defenses. But as soon as they transmitted, the messages cut off mid-sentence. One alien officer groaned in frustration. "They are everywhere. They are inside our communication networks." Suddenly, a group of alien fighters attempted a daring attack. They jumped from the asteroid belt directly toward the human line, hoping to overwhelm them. But the humans reacted instantly. One battleship extended glowing shields outward, absorbing the impact without so much as a scratch. Another cruiser fired a pulse of energy that disabled the alien engines, sending them tumbling helplessly through space. The aliens had never faced anything like it. Back on the human flagship, engineers monitored the damaged sections of the fleet. One console beeped, alerts of minor damage from near misses. Within seconds, technicians repaired critical systems, energy flowing seamlessly back into the engines. "Damage under control," a technician reported. "All units ready for full assault." The pilot smirked. "I like it when a plan comes together." The aliens tried desperate strategies. They split their forces, flanked from multiple directions, and even attempted to retreat. But humans anticipated every move. Each retreating alien ship was cut off, cornered, or trapped by another human vessel. Every tactic failed, leaving the aliens in a growing state of terror and confusion. One alien admiral slammed his claws on the console. "How can they move like this? How can they predict our every move?" His advisors shook their heads. "It is impossible. No species has ever done this." They whispered theories of unknown powers, dark energy manipulation, even alliances with ancient cosmic beings. But none of it explained the humans' calm, relentless approach. Amidst the chaos, humans maintained discipline. No civilian structures were harmed, no unnecessary destruction occurred. Pilots carefully avoided debris fields, and even during combat their attacks targeted only enemy ships. "Focus on the war machines, not the innocent," the admiral reminded over the comms. It was not mercy alone, it was strategy. Human efficiency was unmatched. As the battle continued, a strange awe began to take hold among the aliens. Even as fear gripped them, curiosity grew. How did humans achieve such coordination? How could they repair, retreat, and attack in perfect harmony? How could a species so young in galactic terms become such a perfect storm of power and strategy? In the middle of the fight, one alien scout managed to send a short transmission. "They are not like any threat we've faced. The message cut off abruptly as a human cruiser silently passed by, leaving the scout's ship floating powerless. The words hung in the void, a chilling warning to all who heard them. The human fleet moved onward, leaving a trail of stunned, broken alien forces behind. In every alien command room, leaders whispered of fear and disbelief. "We underestimated them, completely," one muttered. "They are not just ships, they are a force of nature." And in the dark expanse of space, the human admiral prepared for the next move. Another system awaited. Another fleet would challenge them. But humans did not hesitate. They did not fear. With engines roaring louder than the stars themselves, they advanced into the unknown, unstoppable and unafraid, leaving alien empires to wonder, what is humanity capable of next? After the crushing first encounters, the alien leaders retreated to regroup. Their fleets were scattered, their confidence shattered, and their systems in chaos. But the humans did not follow with blind aggression. They moved with purpose and precision, as if each ship was part of a single mind, calculating, analyzing, and acting in perfect harmony. From the flagship bridge, the human admiral observed the galaxy with sharp eyes. Holographic screens displayed alien positions, their remaining fleets, and potential escape routes. Every move was calculated. "We strike only where necessary," the admiral instructed calmly. "No innocent world will suffer. Only those who wield weapons of oppression will face us." Meanwhile, alien scouts watched in horror as humans began something unexpected. Instead of immediate destruction, human ships surrounded key systems, cutting off supply lines without harming planets or civilian habitats. Entire fleets were immobilized not by firepower, but by clever maneuvers. Humans anticipated every escape, every attack, every trap. One alien captain whispered to another, "It is not just speed, it is intelligence. Strategy beyond anything we have seen. They are perfect." Back on the human ships, engineers worked tirelessly. Ships that had sustained minor damage during the initial battles were repaired in minutes, energy flowing seamlessly into shields and weapons. The aliens could not comprehend this. Where they needed hours, humans needed seconds. Where they needed armies, humans needed only a few ships. The humans also demonstrated their understanding of diplomacy and mercy. Broadcasts were sent to the alien systems. "We do not wish to destroy your worlds. Lay down your weapons or face defeat. Choose wisely." Some alien systems attempted to resist. Warships fired blindly, hoping to catch humans off guard. But humans were always 2 steps ahead. Fighters darted between ships, shields absorbed every impact, and pulses of energy disabled alien engines without a single casualty to civilians. Every engagement was precise, controlled, and terrifying. On a smaller human cruiser, a young pilot maneuvered through an asteroid field, dodging debris while supporting the flagship. He glanced at his console and smiled. "They think chaos can stop us, but we are the order in the storm." His wingman chuckled quietly, "And the storm never tires." The alien leaders grew desperate. They convened in the command halls of the remaining fleets. "How do they do it?" one counselor demanded. "Every tactic, every strategy fails. Every weapon, every plan, useless." Another whispered nervously, "It is not their weapons, it is their thinking. Their minds are sharper than ours." And they were right. Humanity's strength was not only in firepower or technology. It was in adaptability, intelligence, and unity. Each human ship acted as part of a greater network, exchanging data instantly, predicting threats before they arrived, and exploiting weaknesses with unmatched precision. Meanwhile, human strategy extended beyond combat. Supply lines were secured with minimal exposure, and occupied sectors were stabilized quickly. Aliens who surrendered were treated fairly. Resources were shared, not plundered. Humans demonstrated that their power was not mere destruction. It was control, efficiency, and foresight. In one decisive moment, humans surrounded a massive alien war station, the central hub for multiple fleets. Alien weapons fired relentlessly, but each strike was neutralized by human shields. Instead of destroying the station immediately, the admiral ordered boarding teams to disable key systems, ensuring the station could not threaten others again. Alien engineers watched in disbelief as their most powerful fortress was captured without annihilation. The aliens whispered rumors among themselves, "They are not just warriors, they are teachers, leaders, something we cannot understand." Fear mixed with awe as humans showed strength without cruelty, power without malice. In the command room of the human flagship, the admiral addressed the fleet. "Our mission is clear. We protect the innocent, challenge the oppressors, and strike with precision. Remember, victory is not chaos, it is control." The fleet responded with disciplined acknowledgement. Every pilot, every engineer, every soldier knew their role. And as they moved deeper into the alien territory, the message became clear. Humanity was not just unstoppable, they were incorruptible, unyielding, and merciless only to those who threatened the galaxy's peace. As the human armada advanced, alien leaders began to fear more than just the humans' technology or speed. They feared their unpredictable nature, their morality mixed with absolute power. One counselor muttered, "They fight with honor, yet nothing can stop them. How can we fight such a force?" In the shadows of space, alien ships scrambled to survive. Entire sectors trembled as the humans continued their calculated advance. Planets once oppressed by alien tyrants whispered tales of the coming human fleet. Stories of hope and fear spread simultaneously. Hope for liberation, fear for the invaders' might. And through it all, humanity moved as one unstoppable force. Engines roared louder than the stars themselves. Ships glided across space like living predators, leaving alien fleets in awe and terror. Every battle was won not only by firepower but by strategy, intelligence, and sheer human determination. As the part ends, the galaxy watches in silent fear and admiration. Humanity is no longer just a species among many, it is a force that cannot be ignored, a storm that brings both hope and fear. And for the first time the aliens realize, victory is no longer in their hands. It is in the hands of humans whose strategy is as unyielding as their will. The human armada pressed deeper into alien territory. Entire fleets had already fallen, yet humanity showed no signs of slowing. The aliens, desperate to regain control, devised their most ambitious trap yet, a massive ambush in the outer rim of a star system. Tens of thousands of ships waited in hiding, cloaked by asteroid fields and dense nebulae, ready to strike simultaneously from every direction. In the alien command hall, tension was at its peak. Leaders paced nervously, calculating the humans' likely path. "They are clever, but they cannot anticipate every attack," one whispered. "If we strike together, we will finally crush them." Others nodded, hope flickering in their alien eyes for the first time since the humans arrived. Meanwhile, the human admiral monitored the system from the flagship. Holographic screens displayed asteroid fields, warp lanes, and sensor readings from across the system. "Prepare for resistance," the admiral instructed. "But remember, fear is our enemy, precision is our ally." Human pilots adjusted positions, engines humming with readiness. Repair crews ensured that every ship was at full capacity. Calm determination radiated through the fleet. As humans entered the system, the trap was sprung. Thousands of alien ships jumped out of hiding simultaneously, firing beams, missiles, and plasma waves. The sudden explosion of light and sound across space was like the fury of 1,000 suns. Alien commanders expected chaos, but the humans moved with astonishing coordination. Fighters weaved in and out of the onslaught, dodging attacks that should have destroyed them. Battleships turned with impossible agility, shields glowing, absorbing impact after impact. One young alien pilot screamed into the comms, voice breaking, How can they move like this?" His squadron was already scattered, engines failing one by one. Each attempted maneuver was anticipated and countered. Humanity's tactics were fluid yet flawless. The humans seemed to read the enemy's minds, striking weak points before they were revealed. On board a human cruiser, an engineer glanced at the damage reports. "Minor hull breaches on the starboard side," she said. In seconds, repair drones were dispatched, sealing the damage and rerouting power. Another engineer added, "Shields at full strength again." The aliens could not understand it. Ships that would have burned for hours were back in perfect fighting condition within minutes. The human admiral directed the fleet with calm precision. "Focus on controlling the field. Divide and contain. Avoid unnecessary risk." Pilots executed maneuvers that seemed impossible, weaving through beams, countering missiles mid-flight, and striking with pinpoint accuracy. Each action was a calculated step in a much larger strategy. Despite overwhelming numbers, the human fleet pressed forward, striking at the heart of the ambush. Alien ships attempted desperate flanking maneuvers, but humans anticipated every move. One battleship, cornered by multiple alien cruisers, executed a sudden deceleration, vanishing from sensors for a brief moment. In the next instant, it reappeared behind the attackers, firing a precise volley that disabled engines and weapons. Fear and disbelief rippled through the alien lines. They know our plans before we even make them," one commander shouted. No fleet in history could survive this. Amid the chaos, human ethics and strategy were evident. Civilian colonies near the battlefield remained untouched. Humans focused only on military targets, striking with efficiency and discipline. The admiral reminded all units, "Our strength is not destruction alone. We are measured even in battle." A small squad of alien fighters tried to break through a blockade to reach a civilian world. Human interceptors engaged them, cutting them off without loss of life to any planet. One pilot radioed back to the admiral, "They thought they could escape to harm innocents. Not on our watch." The admiral's reply was simple, unwavering, "Never compromise. Protect life whenever possible." As the battle raged, alien morale collapsed. Entire squadrons surrendered mid-combat, realizing that resistance against humans was futile. The remaining leaders tried to rally their forces, but hesitation and fear had set in. Humans, by contrast, moved like a single organism, each ship acting independently yet as part of a unified mind. At one point, the flagship was nearly hit by a coordinated strike of plasma beams. The shields flickered and alarms blared, yet humans responded without panic. Energy was redirected, countermeasures deployed, and in moments the incoming attack was neutralized. A young engineer smiled at the console, all systems green. Nothing can touch us. The aliens began to realize something terrifying. Humans were not just skilled warriors. They were relentless, adaptive, and unyielding. Where others would panic, humans remained calm. Where others would retreat, humans pressed forward. Their strategy was not brute force. It was understanding the battlefield, exploiting weaknesses, and never underestimating their opponents. By the end of the engagement, the ambush had failed completely. Hundreds of alien ships were destroyed or captured, while the human fleet emerged almost entirely intact. Silence fell over the system as the dust of combat drifted through space. Alien leaders, shaken to their core, finally understood that humanity was not just a threat, they were unstoppable. From the bridge of the human flagship, the admiral gazed at the defeated enemy. "We test not only our strength but our resolve," the admiral said quietly. "This is who we are. And no force in the galaxy can break us." Engines roared louder than stars as the human armada prepared to move to the next system. Alien fleets retreated, their fear deepened, their strategies shattered. Humanity had proven once again that they could survive impossible odds, strike with precision, and emerge victorious against all expectations. In the void between the stars, one truth became clear. No matter the trap, no matter the numbers, no matter the fear, humanity's will was unbreakable. And the galaxy would soon learn that humans were a force that could not be stopped. The remnants of the alien fleets had fled, leaving behind shattered ships and broken systems. Yet the humans did not celebrate. The battle was over, but their mission was far from complete. From the flagship, the admiral looked out across the stars, calm and resolute. Humanity had shown strength, but now it was time to send a message to the galaxy. Across communication channels, broadcasts began to ripple through space. Alien worlds, even those untouched by human ships, received the message in a voice both commanding and calm. The admiral's words carried not anger but certainty. "We do not conquer for power. We do not destroy for revenge. We fight for survival, for peace, and for freedom. Any who threaten life and peace will face humanity." Across the galaxy, alien leaders trembled as they listened. Entire systems paused, their fleets frozen mid-action. Many whispered to themselves, unable to comprehend the audacity of the humans. Some had expected humans to be reckless warriors, destroying everything in their path. But this was different. Humanity's message was clear: power without cruelty, strength without malice. On board the human flagship, pilots and engineers continued their work, checking systems, repairing minor damages, and preparing for the next phase. Despite the calm, tension lingered. The galaxy would not accept humans easily. Resistance was inevitable and every world would test them. Yet humans were ready, their discipline unmatched. The admiral continued broadcasting, outlining humanity's philosophy. "We challenge only those who threaten the innocent. We defend, we liberate, we advance. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness. Humanity is unyielding, and our engines will reach every corner of the galaxy if needed." Alien fleets, scattered and demoralized, struggled to respond. Some tried to dismiss the humans as lucky or a minor force. Others whispered legends and fears among their people. "They are unpredictable, unstoppable, merciless to those who deserve it, yet merciful to the weak," one alien commander said. "We cannot fight an enemy like this." On a small human fighter, a young pilot listened to the broadcast and smiled. "We don't just fight," he said to his wingman. "We show them what humanity stands for. That's the real power." His wingman nodded. "They will remember this day for centuries." Across liberated systems, humans offered aid to planets oppressed by alien rule. Engineers and soldiers helped repair colonies, restore energy grids, and train local populations in defensive strategies. Messages of hope spread faster than fear. The galaxy began to understand something profound. Humans did not conquer for themselves, they offered a hand to those in need, even as they dismantled the powers that oppressed them. Back in the alien command halls, leaders debated. Some advocated surrender, realizing that resistance was futile. Others plotted revenge, vowing to destroy humanity before they could expand further. But one thought haunted all: humans were unlike anything the galaxy had faced. Their ships were fast, their strategy flawless, and their morals incomprehensible to alien minds. In a quieter part of space, an alien historian recorded the events, speaking into a recording device. "Never have we seen a species like this. They fight with honor, yet their power is absolute. They do not destroy without cause. They move faster, think faster, and survive when all odds are against them. They are not merely warriors, they are a force that will reshape the galaxy itself." Even within the human fleet, the admiral reflected on the broader purpose. Strength without ethics could dominate, but it would not inspire. Humanity's message was not simply fear, it was respect, balance, and vision. Every act of mercy, every calculated strike, every system liberated added to their growing reputation. They were not conquerors, they were arbiters of a new order. Alien communication channels buzzed with rumors of human philosophy. Stories spread: humans who repaired enemy ships instead of destroying them, humans who protected civilians while fighting in space, humans whose engines roared louder than stars yet their hearts sought justice. Fear mixed with awe. The galaxy began to understand that the human's power was more than technology, it was vision, unity, and unwavering will. And then the human admiral's final words rang across all systems. "Wherever there is oppression, wherever there is fear, humanity will come. We fight not for glory, not for conquest, but for life, freedom, and the stars themselves. Remember our engines and remember our will. Humanity does not stop, and neither should hope." Silence followed the broadcast. Alien leaders stared at one another, unsure of how to respond. Some wept in fear, others in disbelief, and a few in awe. Humanity had sent a message stronger than any weapon. They were unstoppable, unpredictable, and their power was guided by purpose, not malice. The humans did not linger. The fleet moved onward, engines blazing, cutting through the darkness of space like a river of fire and light. Each system they passed learned the same lesson: humans were coming, and when they arrived, the universe would never be the same again. In distant sectors, alien fleets began reorganizing, but fear had already taken root. Humanity's message was clear: they were a force of judgment, of hope, of unshakable will. No species would forget it. And as the human armada disappeared into the stars, one truth echoed across the galaxy: humanity does not threaten for power, they threaten for freedom itself. The galaxy had taken notice. Alien empires, once confident in their dominance, now trembled. Humans had proven their speed, strength, and strategic brilliance, but the challenge ahead would test them like never before. In a distant sector, alien leaders convened an emergency council. Hundreds of ships gathered, forming what they believed to be an unstoppable fleet. Their plan was simple: surround the human armada, strike simultaneously from multiple directions, and crush them before they could react. This was to be the final battle, the moment to stop humanity's advance. "We have numbers, firepower, and coordination," one alien admiral declared, his voice ringing with confidence. "Together we will destroy them. The humans cannot survive this." Others nodded, though some eyes betrayed doubt. They had seen the human speed, their adaptability, and their ability to repair and counterattack in seconds. Still, they believed sheer numbers would prevail. Across the void, the human admiral observed the growing armada. The fleet remained calm, engines glowing, shields humming with energy. Humans were outnumbered by thousands, yet their confidence never wavered. Every pilot, engineer, and soldier knew their role. Every maneuver, every calculation had been prepared for situations like this. The moment came. Alien fleets surged forward, beams of energy tearing through space. Explosions lit the darkness as the ambush began. The humans did not panic. They had anticipated this. Fleets split, decoys were launched, and fighter wings maneuvered in patterns designed to confuse the enemy. One alien commander shouted in frustration, "They are everywhere. How can they cover all angles at once?" A nearby officer shook his head. "It's not just speed, it's coordination. They act as one, yet every ship moves independently." Impossible. The battle raged across multiple star systems. Human ships weaved between massive battleships, dodging lasers, missiles, and plasma waves. Smaller fighter wings struck at weak points in the alien formation with surgical precision. Engines roared louder than supernovas, leaving trails of energy that dazzled and terrified. On the human flagship, the admiral's voice cut across the fleet: "Focus. Predict. Adapt. Humanity is unbroken." Engineers repaired hull breaches as quickly as they appeared, while shield arrays absorbed blasts that should have crippled them. Human technology and strategy worked together seamlessly, creating an unstoppable rhythm of attack and defense. Amid the chaos, one alien flagship tried a bold maneuver. It charged directly toward the human admiral, hoping to break the line. Yet the humans anticipated the move. A sudden counterattack disabled the alien ship's engines, leaving it drifting helplessly. Another human battleship appeared from nowhere, firing a concentrated volley that neutralized its weapons systems. Fear spread among the alien ranks. Even the bravest captains whispered in disbelief. They cannot be stopped," one muttered. "We are doomed if they continue like this." But desperation fueled them. Alien ships regrouped, launching coordinated attacks from unexpected angles, hoping to catch the humans off guard. Humans adapted instantly. Sensors scanned threats, algorithms predicted attack patterns, and pilots responded with split-second timing. One young pilot maneuvered his fighter through a cascade of plasma bolts, weaving past enemy fire to strike the engines of a massive alien cruiser. Explosions lit the void, but he emerged unscathed, smiling at the screen. "Never underestimate humans," he whispered. The tide of battle began to shift. Alien formations that were once intimidating crumbled under the precise strikes of the human fleet. Every engagement reinforced the same terrifying truth. Humans were not only strong, they were clever, relentless, and impossible to outthink. In the heart of the battlefield, the human admiral made a decisive move. The flagship accelerated through a narrow asteroid field, appearing directly behind the enemy's command center. Human fighters flanked from all sides, cutting off reinforcements. Alien leaders were trapped, their final hopes slipping away. One alien admiral, realizing defeat was inevitable, slammed his claws against the console. "Impossible. Our numbers, our weapons, how can they overcome everything?" Another whispered, "It is not just strength. It is will, determination, and unity. They are humanity." As the humans dismantled the final lines of resistance, the remaining alien fleets began to retreat. Fear and awe mixed in equal measure. Alien leaders understood that humanity was not a force to be reckoned with casually, they were an unstoppable storm. The human admiral addressed the fleet one last time across the battlefield. "Today we proved that unity, strategy, and determination can overcome any obstacle. We fight not just with power but with purpose. The galaxy will remember humanity, not for fear alone but for our resolve and our will." Engines roared louder than the stars themselves as the human armada advanced into open space. Alien fleets scattered in terror. The galaxy watched as a new power had risen, one that could not be contained, predicted, or stopped. Humans had turned the tide, not through numbers or sheer firepower, but through intelligence, coordination, and unbreakable will. The victory was not just a battle won, it was a message. Humanity was unstoppable not because of technology alone, but because they would never give in, never hesitate, and never compromise their principles. Every system they passed would remember this day. Every fleet that survived would whisper stories of the humans whose engines roared louder than the stars, whose minds anticipated every move, and whose will could not be broken. And as the human armada disappeared into the void, alien leaders realized the truth that had dawned too late. Humanity was no longer a mere species. They were a force that could shape the destiny of the entire galaxy. The galaxy was quiet but not peaceful. Alien fleets had been shattered, worlds once under oppressive rule were free, or at least free from immediate tyranny. Yet the human armada did not linger in triumph. They moved forward with the same disciplined precision that had carried them through every battle, engines roaring louder than the stars themselves. From the bridge of the flagship, the admiral surveyed the stars. Holographic displays showed liberated planets, retreating enemy fleets, and communication channels filled with messages of hope and fear alike. Humanity had won, but they knew the work was far from over. Victory was not only about defeating enemies, it was about leaving behind a legacy. The humans began offering aid to civilizations crushed by war. Engineers, medics, and soldiers spread across systems, helping rebuild cities, restore energy networks, and train local populations to defend themselves. Unlike the alien empires that often left destruction in their wake, humans repaired what they had fought to protect. Children laughed once more on worlds that had known only fear, and adults looked to the sky with cautious hope. On one planet, a governor addressed a crowd. "The humans did not conquer us. They freed us. They repaired what was broken, and they taught us that strength can be tempered with mercy. Our people will never forget this day." Stories of the human armada spread faster than any fleet could travel. They were not just warriors, they were protectors, liberators, and a symbol of what a species could achieve when driven by purpose. Meanwhile, alien empires regrouped, their leaders shaken by the humans' unmatched combination of power, intelligence, and morality. Some plotted revenge, but most realized the futility of opposing a species so disciplined and united. They whispered among themselves, wondering how to prepare for the inevitable. The humans would return, and they would not be merciful to those who threatened the innocent. On board the human flagship, the admiral addressed the fleet. Our mission is never complete. Every star, every world, every life that suffers from oppression is our responsibility. We do not seek conquest, but we do not shy from challenge. Humanity moves forward, relentless, unstoppable, and just. Pilots and engineers nodded, knowing the truth of these words. They had seen the impossible and made it possible. They had faced overwhelming odds, outnumbered and outgunned, and yet their unity, skill, and determination had turned the tide of battle after battle. Humanity's reputation was no longer whispered, it was shouted across the stars. Even alien scholars and historians recorded the human victories with awe. They fight with honor, one alien historian wrote. Yet their power is absolute. They do not destroy without purpose. Their engines roar louder than stars, and yet their hearts are guided by conscience. Humanity is unlike anything the galaxy has ever known. But humans did not revel in praise. Their eyes were on the future. Each system they passed became stronger, more stable, and better prepared. Their ships continued to patrol, ensuring that peace was maintained without tyranny, their presence a reminder that protection came from a species that would not rest. In one final act of strategy, the human admiral gathered a council of officers. Maps of the galaxy spread before them, showing regions of unrest, potential threats, and planets that could flourish with guidance. Our engines roar not to conquer but to inspire, the admiral said. We leave a legacy not of fear but of hope. Humanity will be remembered for generations, not just for strength but for wisdom and justice. As the Armada jumped into a new sector, alien fleets observed from afar. Fear, respect, and awe filled their hearts. Stories of humans who could outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast any foe would spread across the galaxy. Entire generations would grow up knowing that somewhere in the stars, a species existed whose engines roared louder than the heavens, whose determination could not be broken, and whose will could shape the destiny of worlds. Back on the flagship bridge, the admiral looked at the stars, engines humming like the heartbeat of humanity itself. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown dangers and unseen wonders, but humans were ready. Their legacy was not built on destruction alone. It was built on unity, courage, intelligence, and the unshakable belief that life, freedom, and hope must be defended. And as the human fleet disappeared into the endless black of space, one truth echoed across the galaxy. Wherever humans go, the stars themselves learn to fear and respect the power, the determination, and the vision of a species that cannot be stopped. Humanity had not only survived, it had risen, unstoppable, leaving a legacy that would endure for eons. The galaxy was no longer the same. And in every corner, from the smallest moon to the largest starship, the story of humanity's armada would be told, remembered, and revered. For humans were not just travelers among the stars, they were the storm, the shield, and the spark that would ignite a new era.